Good day, everyone. Welcome to another exciting and fun-filled day of our English world. I am your teacher, Princess, and I am delighted to teach you for today. Today, we will be discussing about something that is going to be interesting and fascinating. Are you ready? Great! Grab your pen, your paper, and your module and let us start paving our way through learning. For today's lesson, we're going to talk about the use of appropriate oral language when giving instruction. In this lesson, you will learn how to prepare yourself, your family, and even your community for emergencies by understanding and giving appropriate instructions. Suppose an emergency occurs in your community or area, like fire, flash floods, earthquake, and COVID-19. True to the Bayanihan spirit of the Filipino, volunteers would rush to the scene to offer help and rescue victims. What should you do if you were caught in this situation? What are the things that you need to know to be safe in times of disaster? Do you know who or what to call in times of emergency? During an emergency, your parents will tell you what to do, and if you are not with them, there are other grown-ups who can help you, like firefighters, police officers, doctors and nurses, volunteers, and teachers. If you are on that kind of situation, you must always remember the most important thing to do. Do not panic. You cannot think clearly and you may freeze into inaction if you panic. To help you avoid going into panic, do the following. Take a deep breath. Assess the situation. Think quickly about the advantages and disadvantages of an intended action. Act quickly on the action you have decided to take. But what if you will be the one who will provide the instructions? Listen carefully because I'll be giving you the most simple rules to ensure that your instructions will be understandable and possible. First, phrase your instructions carefully and organize them logically. Second, make your instructions easier to do by using short and simple language. Third, provide all the important details in the instruction. When giving instructions, we must always remember that it should be clear, simple, and complete. On the other hand, I have an example of an infographic from the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. They issued the guidelines on what to do before, during, and after a disaster to help prevent and control widespread disaster to people and property. Let us read the infographic on the screen and examine how it provides appropriate instructions. What to do before the earthquake. Know the hazards in your area. Familiarize yourself with the following: fire extinguishers, medical kit, exit routes, and evacuation plan. Check your house and have it replaced if necessary. Store harmful chemicals and flammable materials properly. Secure heavy furniture and hanging objects. Prepare your family's go bag containing items needed for survival. Participate in office and community earthquake drills. What to do during the earthquake? When inside a building, stay calm and do the following. Duck, cover, and hold. Duck under a strong table and hold onto it. Stay alert for potential threats. Stay away from glass windows, shelves, and heavy objects. After the shaking stops, exit the building and go to the designated evacuation area. When you're outside, move to an open area. Stay away from buildings, trees, electric posts, and landslide-prone areas. If you're in a moving vehicle, stop and exit the vehicle. What to do after earthquake? Stay alert for aftershocks. Assess yourself and others for injuries. Provide first aid if necessary. Prioritize the needs of older persons, pregnant, women, PWDs, and children. If in a coastal area and there is a threat of a tsunami, evacuate to higher ground immediately. Check for spills of toxic and flammable chemicals. Stay out of the building until advised that it is safe to return. Check for damages in water and electrical lines and gas or LPG leaks. Knowing what to do long before the emergency happens can be a great help. Since fires and earthquakes are possible occurrences, it is good for you to join fire drills and earthquake drills. In this case, you will also know the appropriate instructions that will help you and your family in times of emergencies. Now, let us find out if you really understood our lesson for today. I want you to get your pen and your module and let us answer the learning tasks. For learning task number 1, I want you to familiarize yourself with emergency terminologies. Identify what is being described in each definition. Write the letter that corresponds to your answer in your module. Number 1. It is a necessity that contains important items needed by the family to survive. Is it letter A, first aid kit, letter B, disaster, letter C, aftershocks, letter D, go bag? The correct answer is letter D, go bag. Second question, it is a collection of supplies and equipment that is used to give medical treatment. Is it letter A, first aid kit, letter B, disaster, letter C, aftershocks, or letter D, go bag? The correct answer is letter A, first aid kit. Number 3. A sudden calamitous event that seriously disrupts the functioning of a community and causes human, property, and economic or environmental losses. A. First aid kit. B. Disaster. C. Aftershocks. D. Go bag. The correct answer is letter B. Disaster. Number 4. The condition of being protected from possible harm. A. Preparedness. B. Safety. C. Aftershocks. D. Earthquake drill. The correct answer is letter B. Safety. Number 5. Training or practice exercise for if an earthquake occurs. A. Preparedness. B. Safety. C. Aftershocks. D. Earthquake drill. The correct answer is letter D. Earthquake drill. Number 6. This happens when people are separated from or leave a dangerous location or place. A. Earthquake. B. Evacuation. C. Aftershocks. D. Earthquake drill. The correct answer is letter B. Evacuation. 7. The weak to violent shaking of the ground produced by sudden movement of rock materials below the Earth's surface. A. Earthquake. B. Evacuation. C. Aftershocks. D. Earthquake drill. The correct answer is letter A. Earthquake. Last number 8. A smaller earthquake following the main shock of a major earthquake. A. Earthquake. B. Evacuation. C. Aftershocks. D. Earthquake drills. The correct answer is letter A. Aftershock. Alright, now that you're familiar with the different emergency terminologies, let us proceed to the learning task 2. Using the infographic on earthquake presented in the introduction, copy and complete the table by giving the appropriate instructions before, during, and after an emergency. The first one is done for you. So now let us check your work. Before, during, after. Congratulations everyone! And now for our learning task number 3, I want you to write true if the statement is correct and false if it is incorrect. Number 1. In times of emergency, it is necessary to avoid going into panic. Number 1 is true. Number 2. Never assume and underestimate the extent of disaster. Number 2 is true. Number 3, information about the disaster is verified correct when it was broadcasted on TV and radio. Number 3 is true. Number 4, before helping others or someone, make sure that you yourself is safe and capable to do so. Number 4 is true. Number 5, lives and safety should be prioritized above anything else. Number 5 is true. Alright, so let's proceed with our performance task number 3. For your final task, imagine that you watched or heard from the news report that there will be a super typhoon coming in the Philippine Area of Responsibility or PAR. Your community is prone to one of the following situations. Situation number 1, storm surge before the super typhoon. Situation number 2, landslide during the super typhoon. Situation number 3, flooding after the super typhoon. What you're going to do is you're going to choose one emergency situation listed above. Prepare instructions or guidelines on what to do before, during, or after your chosen situation. Write it on your paper at the back of page 3. Remember to make your instructions understandable and doable by following these simple rules. Phrase your instructions carefully and organize them logically. Make your instructions easier to do by using short and simple language. Provide all the important details in the instructions. On the other hand, in writing your instructions, rubric for rating will be given. The criteria for grading your work: first, instructions, it should be clear and appropriate. Organization, it should be logical sequence of instructions. Completeness, use of facts or details. Mechanics, spelling, and grammar for a total of 20 points. Alright, so let us end our lesson by writing your personal insights about the lesson. You're going to complete the statement below. I understand that. I realize that. I need to learn more about. So that ends our discussion for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope I was able to impart more knowledge and understanding to you all. Take care, everyone.